Hey everyone, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us in the Mimic Analytics Bootcamp. Super happy to have you here and to have you test out one of our brand new products, Mimic Analytics. And we're gonna have a lot of fun today in the bootcamp. So my name is Adam. I'm on the marketing team here at Bootcamp, and I have Bryce here on with me. He's a course consultant at Bootcamp.
How's it going?
And yeah, go ahead and use the chat to say hello. Hi, Nora. How are you doing? Go ahead and use the chat in this bootcamp to ask any questions that you have. I'm also going to post a bunch of links for you and helpful resources. We do have support reps online too. Hey, Lyle. How's it going? Lyle is an awesome customer support representative, and he's going to make sure that everyone can get into their student course and play the simulation. So today we aren't going to play all of the rounds. Obviously, we don't have time for that, but we have some brand new A/B testing rounds that we want to share with you and that you can play. So there's 4 rounds. They're actually the last 4 rounds of the simulation, rounds 6, 7, 8, and 9. So when you log into your course, you're going to see that you're in round 6, and that's where you're supposed to be. So just real quick, I'll state the agenda. So I'm going to spend 15 minutes just talking about the simulation really quick. If any of you are unfamiliar with it, so you can kind of know the key features, and then I'll show you how to do 1 round of A/B testing so you know the navigation when you get in. The winner of this bootcamp, we're going to look at the grades of the last round. Okay, so the first 3 rounds won't matter, but just to give you practice. And then the last round of A/B testing, whoever wins, that's going to win $20 Amazon gift card, and the runner-up will get a $5 Starbucks gift card. So we'll be checking out the scores. So it's a little bit of a competition. If any of you need help, we can put meeting links in there if you want to talk on one-on-one video to get help. And also, if you would like to see the rest of the rounds, we have 2 new data integration rounds. I can set up a demo, a quick walkthrough with a course consultant for you later this week or next week, whenever works best for you, and you can see everything in the simulation and the instructor view. So I'm going to share my screen really quick. All right, so welcome to the bootcamp. Mimic Analytics is a really unique tool. It allows students to get their hands on big data sets that are real world, have a scenario-based simulated environment where they can spend simulated dollars towards specific campaigns and test things in a safe way. And it's all auto-graded for you. It's also bundled with 2 of our textbooks, Marketing Analytics and Business Analytics. Business Analytics was just launched actually a few weeks ago. And so the simulation fits both really well with both. And the author, Brendan Davis, actually helped us design the simulation, and he did that on purpose so that it would fit really well with his books. The summary of the rounds. So there's a basic data transformation round, advanced data transformation, basic data integration, and advanced data integration, which are 2 of the new rounds, and then cluster analysis, followed by 4 rounds of A/B testing, which we're going to be hopping in today. Students are really excited about this tool. And the reason they are is because it allows them to make real business decisions as if they were an intern at a big company. And it's a fun scenario. It makes it more real to them. They get to test things. So A/B testing, making mistakes, and doing it not in real life and not with real money. So they get the learning, but it's a safe environment. They didn't realize before how important cleaning data is and how it's connected to making business decisions. So it's not just them cleaning data, but it's them cleaning business data, marketing data that is then tied to a strategic decision. And they're allocating budget to specific campaigns after they've cleansed that data and made sense of it. And it's exciting to compete with the other students. It looks like Brennan is on here with us too. Welcome, Brennan. I'm excited that he's going to be joining us here in the boot camp. He can answer any of your questions as well, and he knows a lot more about this than me. So what does the simulation look like? We gave Mimic Analytics a huge facelift. The user interface looks awesome now, and you can access lots of things that you couldn't before. So any of the round results, you can go back and see the results for any of the rounds. Same with the progress in the sim. It's nice to be able to see all the progress of where you are in terms of the rounds. Each round has a scenario with a video. So you see the same supervisor in your videos every round. It's Haley, our Chief Administrative Officer, who volunteered to do this for us, which is awesome. And it's fun. So they get to see a video from their boss. They get a quick recap. The slides are really easy to consume. It's concise content. And it makes it feel more real world for them. There are clear objectives in each round. So the objectives tab introduces what type of data or what type of activity they're going to be working with the process of exactly what they're supposed to do. Next, there's engaging activities. So the activities tabs are next. And there's lots of different types of activities, but they'll be downloading their data sets here. You can see the A/B testing round here. They're going to be doing their A/B tests in this round, or in this tab rather. And a common theme in Mimic Analytics is budget allocation. So each time they complete an activity, they're going to be allocating budget to specific campaigns, or sometimes it's customer personas that they were working with in the data. And so they'll look at which ones were most profitable and which ones made the most revenue for Bowie, the fictitious company, and they're going to allocate their money to those campaigns or personas that were the best. And then they're going to see results. So the results tab is really cool. They can see their data uploads, which are automatically graded, which is awesome for you. And they can get more detail into what they missed. Next, there are student tutorials. So in the upper right-hand corner, if they click on the help button, there are guides and there are tutorial videos that show them how to do specific Excel functions. So outliers, how to find an outlier. Well, use the quartile function. We show them specific functions that will help them with what they're doing in the round. And then there's an instructor view where you can see a list of all your students, what grades they're getting per round. And if you click in the little eye icons, you can see more details into how they did, what they did, and you can give them insights into how they can improve. After the bootcamp later today, I'll send you all some instructor resources. So instructor guides, some answer keys, some objectives, questions, and budget allocation guides, videos, and some blog posts that you can help that can help your students. And make sure to get free instructor access if you haven't already. I'll post that here in the chat. So you can get instructor access to see the whole sim, and you can schedule a demo with a course consultant if you want to see everything and get a walkthrough. So next, I am going to turn the time over to Lyle, our awesome customer support rep, and he's going to show you how you can get logged in as a student in our course, in our demo course, where we're going to play A/B testing.
All right, guys. First of all, thanks for coming. Thank you, Adam, so much for your hard work, and especially Brendan. Thank all you guys. So, throwing in the chat a join link. We're going to be using this link to get into our Stukin accounts. If you already have a Stukin account, by following this link, it'll pull up. Let's see this page. This one right here. All right. If you already have a Stukin account, if you're already teaching with Stukin, you can enter your email in here, log in normally, and log in as a student, and you'll be able to start your boot camp right away. If you don't have a Stukin account with us, you can start by entering your email. For example purposes, I'll be using a fake name, marty@mcfly.time, and submitting that. It'll think for a second, and then you'll enter your information as normal. Along with a secure password. accept the terms and conditions, and submit. Now we'll go into the login page. So we'll throw our email in there. And throw in our super secret password and enter. If at any point in this y'all are experiencing difficulties, let me know in the chat. Me and Scott will be able to help you guys get into your accounts. Once you reach this screen, it's simply go to Mimic Analytics and you'll be able to start the simulation for yourselves. I'm going to turn it back over to Adam as he's the subject expert. But once again, thank you guys for coming. We appreciate you.
Hey everyone, I'm back. Thank you so much, Lyle, for just showing us how to log in to the sim as a student. Before you get started, I wanted to make sure to show you how to do a couple trials of the first round of A/B testing, so round 6. And then once you all feel confident with the navigation and how to do it, you can go ahead and start playing through the rounds. And yeah, so Bob, Lyle or Scott will help you out. Again, if any of you have issues, just post in the chat and we will help you right away. But I'm going to share my screen and show you a couple trials of A/B testing. Okay. Can everyone see my screen? I'll take that as a yes. Okay, so we'll start in the scenario tab. So in the scenario, you'll see the memo video from the fictitious supervisor. You can watch that. It'll give a quick recap down here that you can read. And then the objectives tab will tell you a little bit about the objectives. So there are multiple factors that you can change. Those are things like the product image, the background color, secondary images. Within each of the factors, there are levels, so different values that you can test. That'll be things like within the background color factor, there are the actual colors. So blue versus gray versus green. I can test those things and I can see what's working better. Next, there are templates. So there's an A template and a B template that I can make changes to. And I'll kind of show you how that works. And you can, once you see the data for your trial, you can then clone things. You can clone one of the two tests to use as the next template. And I'll show you how that works. So when you run the test, half of our website visitors are going to view the A test and the other half will view the B tests. It's going to be split even, and then you'll see the differences in the data, and then you can make better decisions on how to move forward and optimize the metrics. So after running the test, you're going to see a table of trial results and a breakdown of the web analytics for both versions. And then when you begin a new trial, you'll be given an option of starting with a default test or a previous test from the past trials. The goal of this round is to maximize the percentage of returning customers. Each of these rounds, there's going to be a specific goal metric. You're going to see a data table with multiple metrics. Pay close attention to the goal metric. And that's what you're primarily going to be graded on, is how well you can optimize that one. And then next, your final grade for the round will be based on the last trial you run before clicking Run Simulation. So I already have some data here, but I'll show you just how the A/B testing element works. So I'm going to keep my test A the same, and then click into the element, and you're going to see some settings here. So I'm going to change, and I recommend changing one or two things at a time. And that's what I would tell your students as well, is to change one or two things, because if you change more than that, it's going to be hard to recognize which changes that you made actually made an impact. So I'm just going to make one change right now, the product image. And I'll click Run Trial. Now, here's the data table. And I ran one trial before, but just pay attention to 2A and 2B. So my first template, or I guess test that I ran, was 2A, and I kept that the same. That got me a 31.33% of returning customers made a purchase. But my change that I made, the image change, did really poorly. So I went down to 17%. So here's the clone tool. Now, I obviously want to stick with 2A because that pretty much almost had double the percentage of my goal metric. Now, I would recommend cloning whichever trial you want to carry on with as your next template to the A clipboard. Okay, so I cloned it to A, and I'm going to start again with this one. And then when I make a change, I can keep going, and I can look at my data again. And it looks like my base template that I used still performed better than the next change that I made. So use the clone function or feature to clone to your clipboard the trial that you want to start with, and then make a change to the test B, and then look at your data and keep going from there. So once you've finished, there's 12 trials in each of the rounds. You don't actually have to do all 12, but I recommend doing all 12 and telling your students to do so as well, because it's just going to give you more practice and more time to optimize this metric here. And when you're done with all of your trials, you're going to see a data table of everything that you did. And then you're going to want to pick your final selection. So pick the best trial that you did. So in this case, 1B had the highest percentage of returning customers. I've already selected that. And then run the simulation based off of that highest trial that you did. Be careful when you are in your trials not to click on run simulation until you're ready. Just use the run trial button to keep running the trials. Don't use run simulation. You'll get a bad score. And then the continue button will take you to your final selection. So just stick with the run trial button while you're doing the trials. And then once you're ready, you click continue to choose your final selection, and run simulation button when you're done with all 12 trials and you've already selected your final selection. Okay. Now, hopefully you've had time to get into the link that Lyle sent you and log in as a student, not as an instructor. Follow the steps that Lyle told you and go ahead and start playing. We will be ready to answer any questions that you have in here, so use the chats. Kathy has a good question. So can you clarify the 2 columns of cloning and which should be selected if you're trying to modify the best version from the round just completed? Yeah, let me go back and explain that one more time. And Lyle just posted the student join link. So I'll share my screen again. Okay. So you can clone to either the A test or the B test. This is just for your own organization. I would recommend that you pick whichever of these trials is the highest of the goal metric of returning customers, and it will change for the next rounds. But pick the one that's the highest, clone it to your A clipboard, and then make your changes in the B test. So that's how I would recommend doing it. If you do run into any issues, or if your simulation isn't looking the way it's supposed to, just refresh or let us know in the chat, and we'll get everything sorted for you. I hope that answers your question, Kathy. Awesome. Yeah, so I'm super excited to see how well you all do. So we are going to be keeping an eye on the scores. I'll make sure to be available here, and Lyle, Bryce, and Scott will be available if you want to hop on a one-on-one video. Just let us know if you're having any issues, and we are going to give you until my time is all messed up. Sorry. I believe it's 2:40 Mountain Standard Time. So you're going to have about close to an hour, 50 minutes now, I think, to play through these 4 rounds. Remember, the last one is the one that we are scoring for the prizes. So take your time on that one. And yeah, everyone, good luck. One other side note, Bryce, our course consultant, he is always live on our expo booth. So when you're in the lobby of Excel events, there's a tab in the bottom left of the navigation called Expo. If you go there and click in the analytics booth, he's there and he's ready to talk and give you any resources that you might need. So go there and visit him. We're actually giving prizes to everyone that goes and has a conversation. So everyone's going to get a $5 Starbucks gift card just for going to the expo, which is pretty sweet. And we're putting you all in a drawing to win $20 Amazon gift cards. So go to the expo. You can pick up some resources. We have sample syllabi, and we have some infographics, some helpful instructor guides that you might want to get your hands on. So Brennan had a really good idea in the chat. So take the previous trial winner and clone to both A and B, then keep A the same and change B only, and then run the trial, rinse and repeat. That's actually really good advice, Brendan. I should have pointed that out. So that way you can have exactly the same designs in A and B, and you know they're the highest scoring so far. So you keep both of those in A and B, clone them to both, and then make changes to one, which would be the B, and then carry on from there. Hey, Yana. So sometimes the simulation just takes a minute to load. So if it says that it's setting up your simulation, give it a minute. If it takes too long, try resetting. And if that doesn't work, Lyle said he's already looking into your account. So let us know if that doesn't change. Hopefully it'll populate for you. If not, Lyle's going to fix it for you. I have just a couple more thoughts on A/B testing. So the way this was designed was it's graded not on the best design features necessarily, or like all of us have like preferences of what we think looks good. That's not how to do well in the simulation. The way to do well in the simulation is to listen to the data, pay attention to the data, the metrics, what's working, what's not working. I might hate the design of a green background, for example, but if the data says it's working and customers like it, then I'm going to use that one. And the unique thing about this simulation is that every student has a random configuration. The students aren't going to be able to cheat off of each other to say like, oh, this design worked for me, I got a 95%. They're not going to be able to tell that to their classmate because they are going to have a completely different perfect scenario. So each student has a perfect configuration or perfect test. Hey, Lyle. That is the best for them. And so by making these tests, they're all testing different things. They're not going to be able to do the same things. Or at least they can do the same things, but they're not all going to be getting the same grade. Hi, Holt. Sorry that you're experiencing some loading there. Lyle or Scott will look into your account right now and get it sorted for you. You're all going to have lots of time to finish all 4 rounds. So, and if you do have any technical difficulties, like you complete 2 of the A/B testing rounds and then you get reset for some reason, you can just skip those first 2. We'll still be able to see your grades, but you can skip the first 2 that you already did, or if that happens to you, and you can carry on with the last 2. So just let us know if something like that happens. And I just wanted to say that Brennan Davis's students at Cal Poly actually used the A/B testing round in Mimic Analytics kind of as our beta testers to make sure that it was working well, and they loved it. They had great things to say about A/B testing, and I think that you'll be surprised how many different types of courses that this would fit in. Web design, digital marketing analytics, e-commerce. I think it really makes sense there too, because they're able to get their hands on actually testing things on a website and then seeing the changes. And so I'm really excited to see all the different courses that you could use this in. Hey, Richard. So you don't stop at 4 trial runs. So there's 4 rounds. Each of the rounds you have 12 trials to do, to use until you pick your final selection. So you have 12 trials. You don't have to use all of them, but I would recommend that you do, so you can get those numbers as high up as possible. The more trials you run, it just gives you the more opportunity to optimize that goal metric and score the best, and hopefully you can get the gift card. Yeah, Kristen, that's an interesting comment. I think that a tool like this could definitely be applicable to multiple, like different types of subjects. So I agree. I'm interested to see how you might use that in a course like finance strategy. Definitely reach out and connect with us if you find something that works, and in how you might tweak it. So, and the really nice thing about the simulation is that it pairs perfectly with 2 of our digital textbooks. And the rounds were designed to kind of go in line with the chapters of marketing analytics and business analytics, the textbooks. And there are lots of helpful resources in the content. It teaches them, how to do these things and the correct principles before. And then when they play these rounds, they get to practice what they learn and they get to see it in action. And then the learning really hits home there. So I really encourage you to take a look at both of the digital textbooks that would fit with this simulation. And whatever course you're teaching, we can help break down like what the differences are and how they might fit in your course better. Yeah, and if you're teaching a subject that doesn't make sense for one of the books, but like a finance strategy like Kristen suggested, and you want to learn like how you might be able to tweak the sim to use in a course like that, reach out to us and we can help you figure that out. All right, I'm going to do a quick update on how you guys are scoring. So I will be back in just a second. Let me know if you have any questions in the chat. Hi, Yana. Good question. Which round are you in right now? Are you in round 6, or are you in 7? So in the first round of testing, round 6, price actually isn't one of the factors that you can change. We kept it a little bit more basic for the first round, so they can kind of learn the principles, not have too many things to test to confuse them. Price will be introduced in round 7 though, so you should see it there. And then I guess a good side note to go along with your question is that each of the rounds, they get more difficult as you go on. So we started a little bit more basic with less factors to choose from, so they can learn the flow, and then it gets more advanced as you move on. There's more factors, more things to test. The final round is actually, there's a lot of things to test. It's the homepage of Buoy Supply Co., the fictitious company, and they can change a whole lot of things like the navigation bar, a hero image, social media posts, and banner ads and things like that. So you'll see that. Yana, yeah. So it sounds like you're in the first round, and yeah, you can change the image, the background, and the sizes. Just those 3 things, and then multiple levels within those factors. But that's correct. You're seeing the right things. Hey, Yana, good question. So the difference between test A and test B is just you want to keep one as like a base template. So like using the clone feature to clone the best trial that you have so far to your A template, and then B, a really good idea that one of the professors on here had was to clone the best trial to both of those things, to both A test and the B test, and then keep A the same and make your changes in B, and then run the trial. You'll see the metrics again for those trials, and then pick the one that was the best, clone it to both A and B again, and make your changes in B. And that way, you're constantly optimizing. You're constantly picking the trials that improve, and then you have a template with the original designs with your really good trial, and then your changes. I hope that makes sense. I just looked at everyone's scores of what people have done so far, and it looks like you all know A/B testing pretty well. Lots of good scores coming in, so great job. Um, some of you have actually already finished all 4, so some of you have been speedy. But we are going to keep an eye on all the scores and just give everyone else more time to complete those, and then we'll make sure to leave 10 minutes available for the Q&A. And feel free to post any questions in the chat too if you do have any, and we can answer those. And just an update on time, you have a little bit over half an hour to complete the rest of your rounds. So don't feel rushed. You still have a lot of time. And at 2:45 Mountain Standard Time, we'll announce the winners and go to the Q&A. Hey, Kathy. Great question. So when you're finished with the rounds, just come on back here, and you can either ask more questions that you have, or just wait for everyone else to wrap up. And we are going to announce the winners. Um, you should be able to see all of your results in your results tabs, but we'll be able to give you some more feedback on in the Q&A. If you have questions specifically about why you scored a certain way, we can answer that. So just stick around here once you're done. Donna, sorry that you're experiencing issues. It looks like Lyle's already aware, so hopefully we'll get that taken care of for you soon. Hey, Kathy. Kathy Fredrickson. I saw your question. So I looked in the scores and I see that you completed round 6, so the first round of A/B testing. Um, and you might be in the next round, but it does look similar. So it has a similar looking scenario. If you click to the A/B test trials tab, you'll see a different A/B testing element where there's like pricing and customer reviews, and so you keep going through those next rounds. So I think that's what you might be experiencing. Let me know if that resolves the confusion. Hey, Donna and Kathy. I'm so sorry that you're experiencing some issues. My colleague Scott is going to post a meeting link in the chat. Click in there and he can talk with you on video, one-on-one, and we can get your problems resolved. Lyle's looking into it too. Sorry that you're stuck. We're going to get that sorted for you. You might want to try using Google Chrome. I don't know what browsers you are using, but Chrome works best. And hopefully we can get that fixed for you. But I am still on listening. So everyone, we're going to give you another 20 minutes, about 20 minutes to finish the rounds. And then we will answer some questions. Yeah, so try refreshing if you are stuck. If that doesn't work and you're still getting the spinning wheel, exit out of the simulation and log back in as a student, and that should help you um, get it populated again. And then Lyle just posted a meeting link too. Lyle's really good at fixing this stuff, so hop in there with him. He can take a look at your course and get it working for you. Hey everyone, just a quick update. So we have 15 more minutes until we're announcing the winners. For anyone who may have hopped in late, I just wanted to let you know, just put in the chat that you came in late, and that, if you're lost, just let us know. You still have time to play through the A/B testing rounds and have a chance to win the prizes. So if that's you, just let us know in the chat. We'll reach out and get your course set up, and you can hop in a video meeting with either Lyle or Scott, and you still have a few minutes. So I just wanted to make sure anyone that might be hopping on late knows that we're still listening. So I'm just giving everyone time to finish up, but I am listening to your questions. So feel free to keep chatting in if you have any questions. Donna, I hope that you were able to get taken care of. I think that Scott was on the meeting with you, so just let Scott or myself know if you were able to get back in okay, and hopefully you can play all the rounds. I was just checking the scores, and lots of you have almost finished. And it looks like many of you are doing really good. I think we might have a winner, but we'll see if someone can sneak in and beat that score. Okay, change your browser. So I'm glad that you got back in, Donna. Sorry for the difficulties there, but you still have time. So just let us know if anything else happens. Yeah, sometimes with like Safari, I know Internet Explorer doesn't work super well with our software. Just sometimes there can be, weird little issues. Google Chrome is probably the best option to use. And Kathy, if you're still having issues, Leo, who's on the product development team, he's kind of in the back end fixing things. He just posted a meeting link. So if you're still having any issues, just hop in there with him and he can get it sorted for you. Hi, Clara. No problem. If you missed anything or if you feel lost, just let us know and we can help you get set up. Yeah, Alexandra, that's a good question. So they do they do practice crosstabs and pivot tables in the cluster analysis round. And as far as the significance, I don't believe that we've included that in the simulation. But our subject matter expert, Brennan, could answer more questions about why we've left that out. But I do believe we have assignments on regression analysis in the textbook. So there's lots of resources in the textbook and assignments and cool projects there that cover things that aren't in the simulation. And unfortunately, we just couldn't put like everything in the simulation. But we tried to do our due diligence of getting market research from all of you, and getting like the top topics that we could, and some of the most ones that could be simulated in a beneficial way to the students. And so we do have a lot in the textbook though, so I encourage you to check that out and we can show you what we have. All right, so we're coming up on 10 minutes. Yeah, keep working, and I'll just let you guys get to it. Let me know if you have any questions. Hey, Brennan just had a really good point. So we did leave out certain things because statistics, we didn't want that to be a prerequisite to take this simulation, so we left out some of those statistics-based things. All right, we've got 5 minutes left. For any of you who are interested, I posted a link in the chat to the marketing analytics textbook. If you want to check out some of those resources that we were discussing, things that weren't put in the simulation, but things that we have assignments for in the textbook, you can click on that link and you can get instructor access for free, and you can review what's in there and you can kind of see what you might like to use. There are a lot of statistics focused assignments in there. There are some chapters that focus on stats. So you can see what we have. I just wanted to put that there for any of you that might like to check it out. Yeah, 5 minutes. And it looks like most of you are wrapped up, but we're just going to give everyone that extra time. Hey, Alice. Really, really good question. So it looks like we're 1 minute away from the Q&A. I'll answer Alice's question, and then I will announce the winner and runner-up, and then we'll start answering some more questions. So Alice said, is the optimal solution randomly generated for each student, or is it based on general information? For example, use of contrast position of CTA. So the optimal solution is indeed randomly generated per student. Not every student's going to have a completely different perfect scenario of the design, and it's not going to be based on best design preferences. It's going to be based on that randomized configuration, and they're going to have to complete the testing thoroughly and listen to the data that they're getting back, rather than what might be, best practices in industry. The learning objective here is not like, oh, the best CTA button color is orange, not red. It's not about that. It's about watching the data and tracking everything and optimizing, not just like what you think looks good, but what the customers are telling you they like. So that's a really good question and an insight that you can share with your students that'll help them, because it's instinct to look at some of these designs like the product landing page and naturally just gravitate towards what you think looks good. And I think that's not a bad starting point to do that, but you need to try more things and then obviously go towards what's working. Really good question though. Okay. Welcome back, everyone. I'm going to announce the winners. Let me just refresh my results. So it looks like lots of you finished the simulation. Okay, so we have a winner and we have a runner-up. So congratulations to Kathy Thibault. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Kathy scored 86%, and she actually tied with Jana, but Jana Kortzarts also scored 86%. But Kathy is going to be our winner because she scored on average. I did a tiebreaker to see who scored on average the best out of all 4 rounds, and Kathy did. So congratulations to Kathy. Great job, and congratulations to Jana. Kathy, we're going to send you a $20 Amazon gift card today, and Jana will get you sent that Starbucks gift card. Great job, both of you. And now I wanted to leave time for questions. So put in the chat any questions that you had about your experience, about the simulation, and we can answer those now. Yeah, I did see that. I was expecting to see Brennan getting the first place, but he didn't. So congrats, you guys did awesome. Yeah, so just any questions that you have, go ahead and post those in the chat. Thanks for joining, Elizabeth. And just while we're waiting for questions, a side note that I think you'd find useful. If you've already created a course in Mimic Analytics, like if you use the free trial rounds, we offered a few rounds for free trial this past semester, and you haven't hopped into the new version of the sim, I highly encourage that you do so. It's pretty easy to get access to that. All you have to do is create a new course, and you'll automatically get delivered the most up-to-date version of Mimic Analytics. So you'll be able to see all 9 rounds, and there's lots of new cool features, and the sim looks better. It works faster. We've made a lot of improvements to the results too. So make sure to do that. I think you're really going to like it. The videos and the tutorials are really helpful. Students have really enjoyed the simulation. It brings a lot of fun to an analytics course. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Kathy. Congratulations, you did awesome. You scored above an 80% in every single round, so that's really good. Yeah, and along with that full version access, you can see the instructor view of the simulation and see all the details that come with the student grades. There's a lot of detail that you can look at, not just the round results, but details about every decision almost that the student made. So there's a lot of insight that you can give to them and just show them like where they can improve next time. But any other questions that you all have? Oh, Kathy, you were actually the person that won. So sorry you missed that announcement. You scored the highest, so we're going to send you a $20 Amazon gift card. So you won with 86% and you tied, but since you had the highest average scores over all of the rounds, we picked you as the winner. And yeah, I'll stay on for a few more minutes just in case anyone is finishing up and wants to ask questions. But yeah, thanks, Sherry. Thank you, Yana. Yeah, Yana, here, I'm going to post this schedule a demo link. You can have a one-on-one session if you just click that link, put in a little bit of info about yourself so we know what school you're at and everything, and then you can schedule a quick demo with a course consultant. And we do have 2 other new rounds, the data integration rounds, and those are going to be really interesting. It's pretty unique. It kind of ties in a scenario where a sales director at the company wants your help and asks you to do to pull some data. And so you're given a budget, you make data purchases from a third-party data source, and you have to take that sales director's questions and then make data purchases based off of what types of questions he had. And you're buying specific data packages, and then in the advanced round, you're buying specific fields of data, and then you're integrating them together to answer questions in an analytics report. And then you're recommending a budget allocation to the sales director for which markets he should focus on for the sales team. So that's really interesting. If you'd like to have a demo on those as well, those are brand new rounds. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining. I really had a good time. I hope that you all learned something about the simulation and that it'll be helpful to you as you teach your students. So I'm going to close I'm going to close the boot camp, but thanks again for joining. If you have any questions at all, just reach out after the boot camp and we can get those answered. Thank you so much. See ya.